All right, y'all. This is going to be a supplemental session, I should say, because after having the course out for a lot of a long time and getting questions from people, I start to realize where there's certain holes in the way I'm presenting the information. So I just want to clarify a few things about support and resistance, and I'm going to upload this video to the course. And what I want to do is I want to talk about like looking for our levels, our daily levels, our weekly levels, because a lot of people have questions. Hey Jay, how do I know which level is actually a daily level or a weekly level that I should keep my eyes mostly on? Because when people watch me do TA, they notice that sometimes there are lots of daily levels that I don't even show on the chart. And of course I do keep folders of the levels here on the side, where I've got them all in here. But a lot of times I'll take certain levels out. Like for example, we clearly do have a daily level right here, right? Draw a line right here where we can see, back here, price found a sticking point right here, the tops of these candles right here. This was a daily level back in February, and then it was acting all the way as our support, and then support again right here, and then a clear resistance. We reject clearly off this daily level. And then, even just recently getting a bounce off of it, okay? People are like, how come you don't show certain levels on your chart? Well, here's why, guys. The best levels and the juiciest levels are always going to be those that have been untouched. Untouched. So what I mean by that is this. Right here we have a daily level of support. Okay, and I should say this too. People ask, when do you add a new level to your chart? Now, I always say to look to the left, which is true. You want to look to the left, but you want to find those areas that have never been touched before. So I'm starting to the left. I'm looking at this area right here. What we want to do is we want to find at least two candles where the price has had trouble getting past a very specific point at least 2 days in a row. Right here, for example, we can see that the bodies of the daily candles were unable to close or open below 29,761. They tried for 2 days in a row to wick down. For 2 days in a row, this level was, the price tried to get below it and was unable to. This now creates a new daily level. Okay, this creates a new daily level. Where else do we see that? We see that up here, where price for 2 days in a row, even 3 days in a row, tries to wick down below this very specific level and is unable to, so we put a daily level there. Then right here we can see we have a daily level right here, because for 2 days in a row these two candles unable to get below that level. They try for 2 days in a row and are unable to. Okay, this is what is going to give us a new daily level. Now of course we can go back in time and find levels to the left of the chart, like right here where price has found a sticking point, where you see those two candles coming down. It's very important to at least two candles in a row have the same candle body. Okay, but here's something that's important. If price, let's say for example right here, we see this daily level based on these two candles. If price comes above that daily level, we'll put a horizontal line here. Look at what happens here. We have a daily. Okay, a few days later we absolutely do get a perfect rejection off that daily. But look what happens the next time we hit that daily. We just fly right through it. In my mind, this tells me that yes, this is still a daily level that we need to keep our eyes on, but it's not as important. Untouched levels and levels that have been touched, untouched levels are always going to be the most reactive. Check it out right here. 2 days in a row, unable to close below. We get a super nice bounce off of it the very next day. Look at this one right here. 2 days in a row. Come back down, get a super nice bounce off of it. Now, we might come down and get another bounce off of it, but every time that level is touched, it becomes less and less reactive. Doesn't mean we're going to fall through it, but it becomes less reactive. And so then what we want to do is, once the daily level has been touched maybe 1 or 2 times, is we only want to use it if there's confluence there. If we're looking for confluence, okay, then we might want to use an older daily level. So right here, let's just see what we got going on. Do we have any confluence here with that daily level? I'm just pulling out my fibs. We're going to get into Fibonacci's in later time, but okay, so look at this right here. This is a perfect example. Now, we did already come down and bounce off this daily level. So you might say to yourself, okay, it's not as important as it used to be, but because now we have this fib confluence right here, and confluence, I'm going to get into confluence much more later in the course, but what confluence is multiple things pointing to the same level. So basically, you know, what we want to see for older daily levels is confluence. Maybe we have a Fibonacci level right there. Maybe we have a high volume node, like right here we have a high volume node. I'm going to get more into this later about what volume is and how to use it. But this is giving us now confluence. We have three things pointing to this one level for a possible bounce if price makes its way back down there. Okay, so that's how you are going to get your daily levels. That's how you are going to assess the importance of them. And if we come down and just fall right through here, then I might say, okay, you know what, I'm not even going to keep this level on my chart anymore. Or maybe I'll keep it in another folder called old daily levels so that I still know it's there just as a reference. Maybe if there's other confluence there, it'll be a resistance in the future. But really, when you're analyzing your chart, in order to keep it from being too messy, you really want to focus only on the most important daily levels. And so for me right now, looking at this chart, I would say the most important ones for me are this one right here at about 44,658, this one right here at about 46.872. And the reason for that, guys, is simply because these are untouched levels, okay? Price can come down to here. It's never come down to here since we first put in that level. And because it's never come down to there since we first put in that level, well, then I can expect a pretty powerful reaction off of it. Same with this one down here. It's untouched, completely untouched. Look at this daily level that we had right up here, okay? This was an untouched daily level from back in the month of May, right? Look what happens when we come up here. Boom. Massive reaction. Massive reaction. That is actually the initiation of this retracement that we've had in this uptrend. Okay, and I'm going to get into all these terms later, guys, just so you have exposure to some of these terms like Fibonacci, volume, retracement. I will fully explain these things later on in the course, but this is mostly just to show you how I'm getting the levels, how I determine whether or not they're important or not. For example, this daily level right down here, based on these two candles, is this still important? Maybe. We can see it's a very important level, 51.2K, very important. It was resistance, resistance, support, resistance, resistance. Honestly, I would only take this level seriously if there was some confluence here. If there was some confluence here to tell me that this level is still important because of all the times it's already been touched. How many times have we touched it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times. I wouldn't want to trade it alone. I'd want to find some confluence. Well, what do you know? If we pull a fib from that swing high to this swing low, and again, if you don't understand fibs, that's fine, because I will get into that later in the course. But we can see that this daily level is lining up perfectly with this fib resistance. And so that's giving us confidence, saying, okay, there are many reasons why this daily level is still important, therefore I will keep it on my chart. But if you have a daily level that's been touched multiple times and there's no confluence there, then maybe I would say just take it off your chart so that it's not as messy. The same is true for weekly levels. So just to recap, guys, on what I'm saying here, because I know it's a lot of information at once. When we're looking for daily and weekly levels, we're looking for at least 2 candles where the bodies have closed. That is going to determine a new level for us. Okay, so right here, this is a new weekly level that if this weekly candle closes below this line, because it hasn't closed yet, we still have another 2 days and 9 hours. Let's say this weekly candle does in fact close right here, then this 49,324 becomes a weekly level of resistance. Okay, right up here we had these 2 candle bodies. Right here we can see that because it's untouched, this is still an untapped level of weekly resistance. Very important, very important. This level right here, however, is showing us that, you know, we have a level of resistance, but we fell right through it. Well, we came up right above it. Not only did we come up above it, but we even retested it as our support and then continued upwards. So it becomes very clear that, you know, we're probably not going to get the biggest of a reaction off of this level on the way down, because it was not really respected so much when we came up through here. Okay, so I hope that makes sense for you guys. So yes, look to the left to get those levels. You know, this one still technically a weekly level. We could even see it being respected all the way here in August 2nd, even though we put that level in January. But the more times that level is tapped, the less reactive it becomes. And the more times the level is tapped, the more confluence you want to find with that level if you want to keep it on your chart. All right, y'all. I'll see you in the next session.